Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Tech Bootcamp podcast. And we have some really cool guests and a really cool co-host today. So let me begin with our guest. We have one of my Italian brothers who's actually living in Poland, Giulio Lacobellis, who's joining us today. He's one of the folks that we've been really excited to get onto this podcast. So Giulio, say hi to the folks.
Hi, Rich. Thank you very much for inviting me to the podcast. I have a story to share, so let's start.
All right, and as exciting it is to have Giulio on the podcast, I'm even more excited to have one of our favorite friends here on the podcast. Actually, one of our earliest guests, who's a fellow Long Islander, Emma Pikulis. How are you, Emma? How are you, Emma? Boy, I'm stuttering. It's a mess. I'm a mess today, guys. But Emma, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here.
All right, Emma. So you ready to take Giulio through the journey?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, you're on.
All right. So, Giulio, I guess we could start with what was your life like before Lyme? What was your childhood like? How did you wind up from Italy to Poland?
This is a long story. I don't know if we have enough time, but in short, I moved to Poland in 2007, first time. In Europe, we have an exchange program for students. It's called Erasmus. And back then, because it was like 2007, it was called the Socrates Erasmus. I don't know if you are familiar with the program. It's very famous in Europe. I heard that you are in Greece.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually familiar with it. I studied in Spain for a few months.
Okay, cool. Yes, Spain is like a mainstream destination for Erasmus students. It's a very cool one. Yeah.
So growing up in Italy, what was that like? Were you in a village or like the country?
I grew up in Bari. It's a city on the east coast, southeast, in front of Greece, almost in front of Albania and Greece.
Wow.
Also, my surname sounds like a little bit Greekish.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm very excited being a Greek.
Warm place. We have always nice weather. And Poland is like a colder country, like for who's not familiar with European geography. Poland is very cold. And my city is in the south of Italy, so it's very hot.
Okay. And you said you were brought to Poland in 2007?
2007, yes, when I was 22.
And did you stay?
Yeah, I stayed like 6 months, like first semester in my last year of the bachelor studies. And then I went back to Italy. I moved to England for a couple of, like, let's say a year and something. And then I moved back to Italy again. And then I got a scholarship to like a PhD scholarship in Sicily. And I heard that Matt is originally from Sicily. Did I get it right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Poland, to the capital city Warsaw, where I live now, to with a scholarship in the scholarship, like for a year abroad. Okay. And I like the city. It's a very modern city. It's a smart city. And then I got a job in an American bank. Mm-hmm. And I dropped the PhD studies, and I moved definitely here in 2014.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you liked living in Poland?
I didn't like at the beginning because it's cold, but most of my friends like went abroad, like from my hometown. So, and here I have a community, like Italian community or expats community. and we are very close, and childhood friends like are scattered around the world.
Oh, cool.
So I like the company here. And then I changed job. I moved to another American company, and then I started my business in 2018, and lasted for 6 years around. And then I had to like when I got Lyme disease, I like my partners kind of took the business away from me.
Really? What was the
Because I
business?
wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to work, and it was like very painful. And after a year that I've been unemployed here, now I work for another American company,
So you
and
started
I
your
live here.
You live there.
Mhm.
So you started your own company in 2018?
Yeah, I started in 2018. Yeah, late
What
2018.
what was that company?
We had mm, funds from European Union, and the core business was related to studies abroad. So we had yeah, it's like a postgrad degree, and you were traveling in 6 countries in Europe, like Barcelona in Spain, Lisbon in Portugal. Then we had Colchester in England. Of course, Italy, we had 2 or 3 cities, and then we had Poland, Belgium, Berlin, and then we were thinking to extend it to Malta. And it's called like European Studies, and
Yeah.
we were taking students all around Europe. And
Okay.
also we had research projects and conferences,
Wow.
personal development, professional development also was in the program. So a kind of Erasmus, but in a bigger scale. Erasmus
Wow.
at scale.
Yeah. And now how old were you when you started the company?
So 2000. Here it's like it's almost midnight, so I don't know with the arithmetics. I was like 32, 33.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And now what was your social life like then?
I was going out a lot, like especially before starting the business, when I worked in this couple of corporations. I was going out a lot. Yeah, there was no work from home back then because it was before COVID.
Yeah.
And also Poland has a reputation that has very good drinks. And when you are young and you have a lot of friends, that you work together, you are abroad, and also here was much cheaper life compared to Italy or even Greece or United States. So we were young, some money in the pocket, so like nights were long.
Yeah.
I was drinking. Let's say I was drinking. It's something that I don't do anymore. Like after Lyme disease, I would discourage everyone to drink any alcohol at all.
Definitely. So, what were your goals for yourself when you started your company? Who did you start it with?
So the goals were mostly I didn't like to go to the office every day, 5 times a week. And also I wanted to earn money in a different currency.
Mhm.
I wanted to earn euros or dollars were also okay. And it was a successful business. Also pretty stable because mostly like 90% about was financed by European funds.
Okay. Wow.
So I was very ambitious. I wanted to earn more and I wanted to have more free time. And I achieve these goals until I got Lyme disease. I got COVID, and after a month, I got Lyme disease.
Really? Oh God. Now before you had Lyme disease, have you ever heard of ticks or Lyme disease? Have you
Yeah,
known
ticks,
about?
yeah, because in Poland, there are many ticks there are many green areas, forests, parks, and I had a dog back then, and always he was ticks were catching him, and I
Mhm,
also learned how to remove with the alcohol and tweezers.
mhm.
And Lyme disease, no, I never heard about Lyme disease. Maybe I heard the name somewhere, but I didn't know what it was. Yeah.
And now you've always lived in Warsaw when you moved to Poland?
Yes. When I moved to Poland, I've always lived in Warsaw. Like when I was studying, I was on the west part of Poland, bordering with Germany. But now, when I moved here for work, always in Warsaw. Yes.
Okay. Now, as an American that's bad with geography, that is a city, correct?
Yeah, Warsaw is a city.
So it's not
Poland is
like,
the country.
so did you have a lot of access to the country, or was it more like, buildings and streets?
What do you mean? Can you repeat, please?
Like the environment, it was more of a city as opposed to like the country.
Yeah, Warsaw has skyscrapers, buildings, but it's very green. There are
Okay.
green areas everywhere.
And you
Like
had a dog.
again?
You had a dog.
Yeah, I had a dog. Yeah, and every morning before work, I was walking the dog, and in like around this season, like May, April, May, there are ticks lurking in the bushes, and he was always catching some.
Mm.
So after a few times, I took the dog to the vet to remove the tick. I like watched a couple of YouTube videos, and I learned myself how to do that. I was pretty scared first time he catch the tick because the head was totally inside his under the skin and in the fur, and looked like the tick wanted to go into the dog,
Yeah.
and it started to be bigger and bigger because they suck blood, and they become fat. And it was scary. First time I saw a tick on my dog's neck, it was very scary.
Yeah, it's that they're creepy. They're creepy little things. Yeah. So now, what was what were your first symptoms like? What was it like getting Lyme disease, the onset?
Before there, like I didn't get Lyme disease in Warsaw. Like like between symptoms and this part of my life, there is like a small story I would like to tell. So there was like 2 years around of lockdown. So we
Mhm.
were buried at home. We couldn't go anywhere. In Poland
Mhm.
was easy because you could go out in the green area, so even without a face mask.
Mhm.
But when the lockdown was lifted in May 2021, if I'm not wrong. Um, I met a lot of people. People were in the street. Everyone was happy to be able to go out again. And I met new friends, and they invited me for a kayak trip on a river that is called Bug. I don't know the name in English, but in Polish is Bug. It's a river that goes across Poland and Ukraine.
Mhm.
And during this trip, that they didn't tell me that it would have been 5 days and paddling for 250 kilometers. I thought it was just we go there, we camp, we eat sausages, we drink beer, and then we paddle a little bit every day. No, it was like 50 kilometers a day. And I remember that at some point it was raining. It was like also a little bit cold, and someone fell from a kayak, and the kayak went upside down, and we had to connect all the kayaks as a chain. And I was the last one, and I was holding the roots of a tree by the river, and many spiders started crawling on me. And I heard also spiders can be infected with Lyme disease. By the way, this was in a natural reserve where there are many deers and storks.
Okay.
And also I read, like, when I got some knowledge of the disease, I got to know that the storks and deers are infected. They don't have symptoms, but they are infected. So if a spider or a tick bites a deer or a stork, gets infected, then the tick or the spider or any insect, but most of the time is a black small tick that sucks your blood, and then they like vomit some of their fluids in your bloodstream. You get infected very fast, but symptoms don't appear before a few months. So in this kayak trip, I believe I was infected by a spider or a tick. I didn't find any tick on me, but I had some little mark on my left ankle. But I believe that also might have been a spider. And also, like, this happened the second day of this trip, I think. And I didn't have symptoms. And I didn't have, and also I don't, like, we were paddling, drinking, sleeping in the tent. So it's very blurry memory for me. It was hard physically, so I was distracted by other things. And I had some scratches on the legs, but I didn't see the typical rings when an infected tick bites you. I saw, like, I Googled images that there are like 2 rings, like, around the bite or something like this. I'm not a doctor, but I recall this. But I didn't have anything like that on my legs.
Okay. And so how long after this trip did you start having symptoms?
So this trip was end of May, so exactly 3 years ago. And I started having symptoms in August. I went to visit my parents in Italy. It was like around 40 degrees Celsius. I don't know, like in your metric system, in your like how many degrees Fahrenheit are, but very hot.
Yeah, hot.
And I was like apathetic. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to go to the beach. I didn't want to meet friends. I didn't want to do anything. So, like, my brain was like impaired. Like there was a glitch. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to drink. I was just sitting, and I couldn't. I also had insomnia.
Really?
And I was just sitting on the chair or sitting on my bed, and I didn't want to go out. I was just sitting, like, for weeks.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking that it's the problem was staying at my parents' place. They don't have air conditioning, and it's very, very hot, and I don't like this heat, and because I'm used to live in Poland, and there is never so hot. So I decided to go back home. Yes, here where I live. And here it was the same. The temperature was milder, but I didn't feel that I wanted to leave. I was another person, and these were neurological symptoms. It started, and then I moved to another city for a month here in Poland because I had a project there with the university. And I started having some itch and then a little pain in my left shoulder. And I usually had some pain in my right shoulder because I had like a small accident in the gym many years ago. But now the left shoulder started hurting every day. And after a few days, it was like at the beginning it was like itching, like inside the bones. And then started the feeling was like burning. It was like needles and burning.
Yeah.
It was very unpleasant. And then started the same symptoms with the same pace, the same timing, was starting like itching my right knee. And then I woke up a day, my right knee was like double bigger, was like so swollen that I got scared. I went to the hospital. Like this is not an English speaking country, so to find a doctor that speaks English, it's like a little bit more difficult. And the doctor starting the visiting me and asking me questions, and he didn't have an answer. He said it's not an injury, it's an infection, maybe it's something that I cannot diagnose anything. I had the blood works done the day after, and my inflammation levels were like huge. And not very kind doctor that read me the results said it might be AIDS or cancer. Very good diagnosis. Thank you very much. So I'm dead or dead. And
Oh my God.
and then started my left ankle, and I had like joints like asymmetrical joint. Like I had the left shoulder, right knee, left ankle, and then started my left wrist. And I was like in a month, I felt like paralyzed. The only thing that could make me feel better were hot showers. And I spent even hours under the shower because it was the only thing that unblocked my joints.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I finished this project in the city. I went back to Warsaw, and every day I was going to a different doctor, or I tested for AIDS, for syphilis, genetical. Tested for also some very expensive tests for cancer, tumors, and everything was negative. But inflammation levels were higher and higher and higher. And this was very scary, very, very scary.
Now, how was it working as you were just getting sicker?
Yeah, I was getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and no one could understand what I had. So I went back to my parents' place in Italy, and because I wanted to talk with someone that speaks my native language, like I wanted to talk with the doctor that speaks Italian.
Yeah.
And they also didn't know. They were reading, translating the blood tests and all the tests that I had, all the paperwork, but no one knew anything about. Didn't have an idea that what could be.
Yeah.
And this was like September, was October 2021. And then in November, I had a project in Ireland, and I had to go because it was a business trip, like it's not employment. So if I didn't go, I didn't earn money, and I needed money. Also, these tests were very expensive.
Yeah.
And I didn't use the public health system in Poland, because mostly doctors there, they speak Polish, the local language. So I had to buy private medical care to have doctors that can speak in English.
Oh my God.
So I went to Ireland. Before going to Ireland, by coincidence, some person that I met, like a friend of friend, suggested me to go to some rheumatologist. This rheumatologist was very experienced. She was an old lady, very, very old doctor. And this person came with me to translate, because this doctor doesn't speak English. And this rheumatologist, very, very, very experienced, like, looked at me, asked me many, many questions, and then she said, "This must be Lyme disease." She gave me a referral for blood tests, and as I didn't eat that morning, I was very stressed. I could also do the blood test, and it was like this test called ELISA. It's the first test that you can be diagnosed with Lyme disease. I did the blood test, and it was like the day after I had the result, positive to borreliosis. And then there is a second test to confirm that you have Lyme disease. That is called the Western blot or something. Probably it's Western blot, I remember well. And then I had to go to Ireland for 2 weeks. And I didn't have the confirmation that I had Lyme disease. And I also didn't walk anymore, because my legs were both, one left ankle and right knee were gone, were hurting a lot. So I was with crutches. I went to work with crutches also. As I said, there were like conferences and studies abroad for postgrads. And even if the postgrad students, they were average 28 years old, but they wanted to go out. They wanted company. Like, I was with like about 20 people that were inviting me. Also, we were going to visit companies, experts, and also we had lectures, seminars, workshops, activity, everything that I needed to stand all day long. And I was with crutches, standing and suffering like horrible pain. But when I was in Ireland, some doctor called me from the medical care private company that I had in Poland, and they told me, it's confirmed that you have Lyme disease. You have to take antibiotics now. I will send you a referral that you can use. And I said, I'm in Ireland, I cannot go back, so I need something to buy antibiotics, like a prescription to buy antibiotics, not in even if it's European Union, it's not like United States. Like, countries are, you cannot use a prescription. I don't know how it works there, but if you have a Polish prescription, you cannot use it in Ireland.
Yeah.
So he gave me some certificate. This doctor was Indian, so English speaking, like native English speaking, and he wrote me like a letter that I could show the pharmacist or a doctor in Ireland, and they would have given me antibiotics. And the same day I went to a pharmacy. I was talking to the doctor in the pharmacy, and he said, yes, this is very serious. You have to take this. And he gave me the medications, like doxycycline. And I started taking it, and after a few days already, I don't know if it's like placebo effect, if it was a placebo effect, but I started feeling better and less, little less pain. So this is the.
How long did you take the doxycycline for?
Doxycycline. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay. And then did you start treatment with this doctor?
Yeah, then I started treatment, and I knew the name. Like, when you know the name of your enemy, It's much easier. I could Google it. Before, what could I Google? Like, I don't have AIDS, I don't have cancer, I don't have syphilis.
Yeah.
Like, and there wasn't ChatGPT. Maybe ChatGPT would have helped.
Maybe. How did it feel to get a diagnosis?
It was like a very big relief. I felt much less stressed. And also I was Googling sentences like, is Lyme disease deadly? Can I survive Lyme disease? And usually when you Google something, I have headache. Okay, it's brain cancer. You'll die in 3 days. Google answer. But when you Google something about Lyme disease, there are like I found like consistent articles, and also something scientific or science-based, and people take it very seriously. So that there are not scammers online with clickbait about Lyme disease, fortunately. So I felt much better, like the biggest relief of my life.
And now, what did treatment look like?
It was I was worried because doxycycline as a side effect gives yellow teeth.
Hmm.
So also I armed myself with whitenings, many kinds, and but I didn't get yellow teeth. Okay, it's a podcast, you cannot see my teeth, but Emma can, and they are white.
They are white, I can say. So you only did doxycycline for 4 weeks?
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks. I don't or 5. I don't remember. I don't. But like yes, at least 3 weeks. Every day, like twice a day, it was like a potent doses of antibiotic.
And you just started to feel better from that.
I started to feel better. I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but yeah.
Did you take?
But pain started to fade. Not that it went away after. It went away after. Like I still have it.
Yeah.
After 3 years, but it's little. It's not a lot. It's like I can suffer this sometimes when I catch a cold, or if I'm stressed because of work, or I don't know, I exaggerate going to the gym. I feel the a little of that pain in my joints, and they were the affected joints.
Yeah. And now, did you do anything after those 3-4 weeks of doxycycline for treatment?
Yeah, it changed my life because I was pretty much very, very, very skeptical person.
Mhm.
So I didn't believe in in God. I considered myself an atheist. I wasn't a spiritual person, and the meditation was like BS. And psychology also, it's manipulators that want your money. But after that, I talked with a psychologist because I went through a lot. I started using meditation apps.
Mhm.
I have one that is the best one. It's a free one. I don't know if I can say the name of the app. It's a free advertising, but they are very good because they give a 1 year for free. But I tried like many of them, the most famous. And meditation about when you meditate on your pain, you concentrate your focus on your pain, and you remove the psychological part of the pain. It's much less. And when I was suffering Lyme disease pain, it helped me. But a few months before, it was like total nonsense meditation, but it works. If you give me a paper to sign it, I can sign it.
Oh, wow.
And supplements, I used to take only supplements like when you go to the gym that you want to look more pumped, like creatine and etc. But now every day since then I take many supplements. Magnesium first of all, vitamin D, collagen. Sometimes when collagen helped me a lot. So this is a low cost treatment like magnesium. Everyone has a magnesium deficit. Like we never get enough magnesium. And yeah, I tried many. I have a list of supplements. I also talked with the dietologist, and but this dietologist didn't give me big hints about what to take. So I reading online. I have my own recipe. So like lots of supplements. And one more remedy for swollen joints. It's is eye spray. Like a friend of mine that always has tendonitis because of sport or running, tennis, etc. Told me that eye spray is a very big relief and also cures the inflammation in the tendons. I started eye spraying my joints, like affected joints, and it helps a lot. And a bottle of eye spray costs, I don't know, $2.
Okay. Wow.
Magnesium costs, it's cheap supplement. And
now, did I read too that you did hyperthermia?
did I? Can you repeat,
Mhm.
please? There was a little bit of, was lagging a little bit.
Did I read that you did hyperthermia?
What is hyperthermia?
I thought I maybe I looked at something else. I thought you did uh when you raise your body temperature.
How? Like a sauna?
Yes, kind of, but the hyperthermia, I guess.
Oh, no, it's not. I've never tried. But yeah, sauna, steam bath, hot showers. When you cannot move, when you have this stiffness that Lyme disease gives you,
Yeah.
helped a lot. But in the second phase after the antibiotics, after the therapy, eye spray helped me. Ice and ice spray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, and I read ketoprofen helped you.
Yes, ketoprofen is the best how it's called, anti-inflammatory drug. Yeah.
Okay.
And also, but ketoprofen is the most effective in my case.
Okay. How long were you on that for?
2 years.
And the
But it
doctor?
yeah, it destroys your stomach.
Yeah.
So there are, like, I was taking also medication for the stomach.
Mhm.
And yeah, ketoprofen also in gel and caps.
Okay. And now physical therapy? Do you do any sort of
Physical therapy. I spent a fortune in physical therapy. Yeah.
How has that helped?
You need to mobilize your joints because if you don't move, stiffer, and you cannot afford that. Even after the treatment, I started. I was a gym guy, a gym bro. I was going to the gym and lifting as much as I couldn't, and because I wanted to be pumped. After Lyme disease, I'm a better person because sometimes I go to yoga, I do stretching regularly, like every 2 days. Every second day, I have to do like 30 minutes of stretching. I go to the gym regularly since I could. after like about few months after the treatment. And yeah, I drink water more. Before I was like not so aware that drinking water helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you taking any supplements now?
Yes, I'm looking at them on the shelf. I have vitamin D, magnesium, vitamin B6. There is melatonin, but that's and yeah, I'm just taking this here.
Okay.
But I was taking like about 10 different supplements.
Yeah.
Collagen and something else that I don't remember the name now. Yes, curcumin, also
Okay.
called, and the piperin. It's
Mm-hmm.
a supplement that helped me a lot with the inflammation. And there is also something else that I was taking with the collagen, because collagen is, let's say, the material, and there is some other supplement that is the glue. So if you want to fix your joints, it's called glucosamine sulfate.
Okay. Glucosamine sulfate.
Yes.
And you take that with collagen.
Mhm.
And then I read you use CBD and medical marijuana?
Yes, because I had insomnia, and also like when I wasn't able to work, and my partners had to remove me from the business. They said temporarily. I started having panic attacks, anxiety that I never had before. And yeah, and when they legalized in Poland medical marijuana, CBD, I tried, and it helped me a lot with the insomnia mostly, and with the nerves, like with the
Anxiety.
anxiety. Yeah, better to not exaggerate, because then it works lesser and lesser and lesser until it doesn't work anymore. Or also you can feel dizzy in the morning. Especially like I didn't take drugs before, like drugs that I'm not a user. I was mostly a drinker when I was young. I was scared like first times from the effects. But then yes, medical marijuana, CBD, they helped with those symptoms.
Okay. And I
I
see
don't know if they are neuroborreliosis or they were just hard life that Lyme disease gives you. But
what was that?
Like I said, I don't know if like I had anxiety and insomnia because of neurological symptoms, or because of a hard life that comes with Lyme disease,
Yes, I
or
understand
both.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, yeah. Ah, and now I see that you're researching stem cells. Do you think that's something you'll do in the future?
Yes, I contacted a few clinics in Mexico, Colombia, and Turkey. Colombia is very expensive. I didn't expect that. Mexico surprisingly was cheaper, and Turkey, that is closer to me and to you. It looks okay. Also, Turkish doctors have a good reputation. Also, service in Turkey has a good reputation, and I'm investigating this. But I feel I don't know. Now I have an office job. I sit 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I work in IT now, so I'm considering I'm considering to improve further my health, but I'm satisfied like with what I achieved in these 3 years, because I was paralyzed in bed. I lost the job. I lost everything, and now I have a job and I have like a normal life. I also go to the gym. I bike sometimes,
Yeah.
but
No,
I'm weaker. Like I see it. I'm not 100%. I came back and 90%.
mhm.
And I dedicated like 1 year only taking care of my Lyme disease. Well, 1 year that I was unemployed.
Yeah. It's difficult having to work with Lyme disease.
No, it's better. Also, I work for a very good company.
Mhm.
They are health tech. I cannot say the name because it's advertisement, free advertisement. We don't do that. But it's a very good company, and they are very sensitive about people that have physical difficulties to go to work. Like no one knows that. Not my team knows that I have Lyme disease. So if
Mhm.
I don't feel good, suddenly they know why. Because sometimes I have how it's called in English, a flare up.
Mhm.
Sometimes I have a flare up and I have a pain in the wrist, pain in the joints, and I feel a little bit confused.
Mhm. Yeah. How often do you have flare-ups?
When I have when life is hard, it's stressful. So always, no, it's not true. I have a very calm life. Like if I exaggerate in the gym, like I spend like 2 hours in the gym after 10 hours at work, and then I don't know, friends take me out and I walk and I do too many things in within the 24 hours.
Mhm.
The day after or in the night, I might have a flare up. I think it's not regular. Let's say that I had a few in the last year that I consider myself like I recovered from the disease. The last year I had like let's say 10, so every month and something, every
Yeah.
5 weeks,
Yeah.
but very small episodes.
Okay. And what did you learn about yourself in this journey?
I learned many things. Like I don't want to go too spiritual in this, but I think I grew up faster. I am calmer.
Mhm.
I don't get irritated as I very easily as before.
Mhm.
I don't get angry very almost ever. Like I'm calmer and I'm more open. Like I earn the points in openness. Like I accept people as they are, and I accept help. I was never asking for help because like I was feeling like when you're a young man, you feel invincible. You want to break everything
Yeah.
to make your way through difficulties. Now I'm open. I accept. Also, I if someone is suffering, I perceive it. I became more sensitive. I
Mhm.
perceive if someone more empathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost some points in physical activity, but in spirituality maybe I earned a few hundred points.
Yeah. And now, what advice would you give to yourself now if you had just started all of this over again? For someone else, say someone else you know and love just got Lyme, what advice would you give to them?
Mm, to accept help, ask for help, to not be embarrassed of being sick.
Mhm.
But I'm still embarrassed when I have a flare up or I feel bad. I say that I have a headache. I don't say I have Lyme disease. And to change the diet, to not drink alcohol at all, forget about alcohol and sugar. I cut sugar from my life almost totally. And to be patient, because this takes, in best case scenario, it takes a couple of years. Like, I was very lucky that I found out I have Lyme disease after about 4 months
Mhm.
since the tick or the spider or whatever bit me. And yeah, so I was very lucky. I didn't develop a very strong Lyme, like very strong, long-lasting symptoms. I have a chronic Lyme disease,
Mhm.
but it's a mild, very mild form of it. And
Yeah.
also, and to continue, like, you change diet when you are sick and keep the diet, like cut sugar, cut alcohol, take supplementation, stretching, yoga, and
Mhm.
meditation, even if it sounds like BS. Can I say bullshit in the podcast?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, even if it sounds like bullshit, try once. Choose like a very good app, even if it's paid or a free trial for 1 month. Every app has,
Mhm.
and try to focus on the pain. Try to focus on your breath. Like, follow the guidance of the app, and you remove like about 60% of the psychological pain. Also, when you develop awareness, you know where exactly you have pain,
Mhm.
because like, I have pain in the left ankle, but where exactly? In the bone, in the muscles, in the
Yeah.
tendons, where? And when you focus like for 2, 3, 5 minutes on that part, and you close your eyes, and maybe you have a noise cancellation headset, and you really, really put all your focus in that part, and you understand where the pain exactly is and what kind of pain, it gets better. You can suffer it. It's more sustainable.
That's very helpful. Just any way to look at pain in a new perspective is very helpful. So
Yes,
everyone
it is.
listening definitely is thankful. I can speak on their behalf. Now, what advice would you give to someone who is looking to protect their family or themselves from Lyme disease?
I don't have like an advice for this, because to me it happened like it was a coincidence. Like, I didn't even know it existed. I was like, when I was kayaking on this river near Ukraine, I was with there were like a couple of people in my group that were from this area, that they have deer, storks, and ticks. It's area, there is nothing else. Deer, storks, and ticks, and spiders. It's beautiful, but the population is less beautiful. The fauna. No, deers are beautiful. The storks are beautiful. Ticks less. Uh, and it happened to me, like, to protect yourself, like, don't go for a kayak trip, and don't paddle for 250 kilometers. I don't have big advice, because to me it happened, like, it was casual, just happened. It's not like it didn't happen in a park near my building, or I don't know, in some area that I go often. Like, it happened like in a natural reserve.
Yeah, I think that's important even just to know that for everyone listening, that it just happens. Sometimes you can't protect yourself. It just happens. So
Yeah, it just happens.
exactly. And now if you had found a tick biting you, what would you do?
I would run to the pharmacy and buy antibiotics.
Yeah,
Like run.
definitely
Now
makes
I
sense.
know the medication to take. Doxycycline. Can you repeat it? Because I never
Doxy,
knew how to.
that's okay.
Doxy?
Doxycycline.
Doxycycline. Okay. Because I
Perfect.
was reading in my head like a mix of Italian and I don't know.
Yeah, it must be difficult
Doxycycline.
too, juggling 3 languages.
Yeah.
Now, for the rest of our listeners, if you had 3 free or low-cost treatment options, what would they be?
Supplements. Only 3. I have 4. Okay. Supplements. Mm, Stretching or yoga,
Mhm.
meditation, and eye spray. There are
Nice.
4. Eye
Perfect.
spray is less important than the.
So,
Still important.
Giulio, it's not a surprise that an Italian would want to speak, not just give 3 answers, but speak more and give 4 answers. It's good to know
So
that our brothers and sisters from Italy are just as talkative as the Italian Americans are.
yeah, 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 yeah. Level of verbosity is huge. We talk a
Yes.
lot.
So, Giulio, I can't thank you for taking so much time out of your late evening schedule to speak with me and Emma, and thank you, Emma, for doing such a great job. This was really a beautiful interview. I know folks in our community are really going to benefit from hearing your great questions, Emma, and your great answers, Giulio. So I want to thank both of you for joining us here at Tick Boot Camp, and I want to thank both of you for the advocacy you're doing on behalf of people in both the European and American communities.
Thank you
Thank you,
all.
Rich. Thank you, Emma. Thank you all.
Seriously, thank you both.